but I would love to hear Brian's thoughts on CRMs.
Oh my goodness. CRMs.
Brian, let's define first. What does that acronym mean?
It is client relationship management. So when it comes to CRMs, I am a CRM geek to the point where we're developing our own platform internally. I've always kind of felt that a CRM gets you about 80% of the functionality that you need, and that 20% just bugs me on what it can be type thing. So I'm probably, in the category 3 when it comes to CRMs. Most of us needed to do basic functionality,
Yep.
Store your emails, store your client documents, your activities, call records, things like that. So when it comes to CRMs, let's kind of define what a CRM can do and can't do.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hybrid models out there as well too. If you were to categorize CRM platforms, you have your more generalized CRMs that are non-specific to an industry. Platforms like that would be Salesforce would be one of them.
Like a HubSpot.
HubSpot, yeah. In fact, I love HubSpot. It's free to start using. And those types of platforms are kind of like a blank canvas in that a lot of the functionality is there, but you have to kind of customize it and retrofit it to your own specific industry. Platforms like Salesforce, another platform that I really like is GHL. You'll have creators or maybe folks that are in a specific industry that will build out a layout for a specific industry.
Yeah.
But out of the box, it's, it kind of leaves you feeling like, okay, everything is here, but like, how do I use it for my own industry?
Yeah.
So the second category of CRMs would be something that is a little more company specific or industry specific. So in the insurance side of things, a lot of times they'll be referred to as an AMS, agency management system. Those kind of synonymous terms. They both kind of accomplish the same thing. But something that is specific to the insurance industry would be AgencyBloc. I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with that. There's a whole slew of platforms, whether you're on the financial advisor side and using WealthBox, or maybe you're on the PNC side and using, I've already forgot the name of the main platform there, where those are kind of already built out specific to an industry.
Yeah.
And you don't have to really retrofit it to what you're doing. So I would recommend, if you are somebody that is looking at getting a CRM, first off, I would recommend maybe getting some advice from other agents on what they're using and maybe what they've used in the past and how they arrived on the decision to use their current platform.
Let us know in the comments what CRM you're using.
Yeah, let us know what platform you're using and what platforms have you used in the past that maybe didn't live up to your expectations. Now, the thing about CRMs is a lot of people will get confused with client management and then the marketing aspect. And a lot of platforms out there, when I say marketing, like email marketing, maybe text blast, things like that, a lot of times a great CRM system will be lacking on the marketing side. So that's always kind of been my frustration with the CRM industry in general. It's kind of bridging the gap between like policy management, sending out emails and everything like that. I would actually say anybody listening that wants help with a CRM, reach out to us. There's, on a Friday night when everybody, is at the bar having a beer, your old pal Brian over here, he is laying in bed
researching
CRMs. I mean, I have like spreadsheets comparing different platforms and everything.
Oh my gosh.
I would love nothing more than to have a conversation with you on finding a solution that would best fit your needs, and can also tell you some things to avoid. I think some other things to consider when looking at a CRM would be how secure is the platform?
Oh, yeah.
The encryption, is it HIPAA compliant?
Yeah.
And then one of the big things that you don't think about is, what does the breakup look like, right? So when you outgrow the system that you're on, because maybe you start off with something at a lower price point and you graduate to needing more functionality, how do you export everything from your current one and migrate it to another one?
Right.
If you haven't been through a CRM migration, I don't wish that on my own worst enemy. It is
It's brutal.
It's brutal. And unfortunately, we have worked with platforms, and there's plenty of platforms out there that are pretty prevalent in the industry where the export functionality is not what you might think. Because when I hear, yeah, you can export it and do whatever you want with it, and then you go to export stuff, you find out, oh, you want to export notes. Oh, you can't do that. You want to export your call records. No, you can't do that.
Right.
Essentially, you're able to export the name, address, and phone number type thing.
Yeah.
And so then you're left with having to manually go through every single record. And so definitely would want you to avoid that if at all possible. I think another thing to consider with CRMs would be integrations with other third-party platforms.
For sure. Yeah.
I think that is huge, especially on this topic of technology. Does it integrate with my email platform? Does it integrate with Google Drive? So many different things.
Are you able to connect your technology?
Yes. And so one of the platforms that I think a lot of people will be familiar with is,
Zapier.
Zapier. Thank you. Where Zapier is essentially a connection platform where we refer to it in the tech land as an API, but essentially it's plugging in the data from one website to another website. And Zapier has kind of taken the geeky stuff out of that and made that really easy to use. But at a minimum, you would probably want to make sure that you can plug in the data platforms and the technology platforms that you utilize on a regular basis. Nothing worse than committing to a new CRM and then finding out that it works with nothing that I use.
Yeah.
And then you have to go in the corner and in the fetal position and cry.
Brian, if we had a bucket one person new to technology but wants to do this, obviously being a novice that they are, what kind of financial investment should they be ready for to start a CRM?
That's a really good question.
Yeah. So as was mentioned before, there are platforms out there that are free to start with. Now, granted, they usually come with some caveats as far as being able to export data and things like that.
Of one that you would recommend, I guess.
A platform out there that actually is pretty good for getting started would be HubSpot, I would say. Zoho is another one. Now, these are platforms that, you're not going to do policy management or anything on, but you're going to be able to archive all your conversations, your emails and everything. Call recordings, all that type of stuff. And these are well-known, well-established companies. They're not going to leave you high and dry. I think eventually, the more specialized you get, the higher the price tag.
Yeah.
So decent platform is typically going to cost somewhere between $50 and $100 a user.
That's a month, right?
And that's a month, correct.
So user as in agent.
Agent,
right.
Correct. Yeah,
not per customer.
Correct. Yeah, thank you for that clarification. Yes. A lot of decent platforms out there. I think they're like $70, $80 a month if it's just you and yourself. Many platforms will have add-ons where, you want to add on a commission module or you want to add on email marketing or something like that. But I think anything under $100 is a good price point. If it's under $50, then you also have to question, what am I actually getting? But there are actually some great platforms out there. Again, I'll pick on HubSpot. The reason why it's free is because they're going to limit your usage and limit some of the functionality and integrate you, get you integrated into their platform to the point that you're like, well, I've done all this work, I might as well upgrade because I'm already here type thing.
The free version's the
freemium.
It's a entry-level drug to your business.
Yes.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's a great question. On the high end, Salesforce is probably the gold standard in the industry. Probably more enterprise level. A lot of the insurance carriers use Salesforce.
Yeah.
We actually used Salesforce for a period of time within the organization. We found that the price to scale that long term was just going to get out of control. There have been so many amazing new platforms that have come out, and a lot of platforms, the thing that I'm getting excited about is interfacing that with AI to where you can talk to your CRM and it could actually start to see trends on different aspects of your business. So to me, that is the most exciting aspect of CRMs is just the information and then the forecasting that you could use with that data
Yeah.
is really really exciting.
Well, I think it's good CRM. I mean, your CRM is only as good as the information you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, that CRM is your business. It's your clients. It is your nucleus. It's where everything stems from. And it's potentially what you could sell in the future.
Absolutely. You know, as somebody that has bought books of businesses in the past, if you don't have a CRM, I've
Yeah.
lost interest.
Yeah.
Because I'll be damned if I'm going to buy a box of manila folders
Right.
and have to data input all that information. But yeah, you brought up a good point. You know, the thing about a CRM is you do have to upkeep it, right?
Yep.
It's only as good as the data that you put into it. And my staff members know that I am what you would call a data Nazi. And, you know, I'm fine with that title.
Hey, don't even think about putting a new entry in and not putting the county that person
Right.
lives
Oh, there's
in.
going to be hell to pay.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You will demerit, man.
I was trained where if you talk to a client, it goes in an activity.
Absolutely.
And if you have a new client, it goes in immediately.
There's a follow-up date attached to that
Yep.
when you need to follow up.
Yep.
And yeah, that is the thing that drives me crazy is when an agent will sign up for a new CRM system and then there's like nothing in it, or there's
Yeah.
like, why are there no notes? Well, like, what did you do on that meeting? You know, type thing.
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing about where we are with technology right now is a lot of like even apps on your phone that can like record your meetings
Yep.
can be completely integrated automatically with your CRM. So I think it's getting to the point where the things that you would have to think about doing,
Yeah.
technology is making it easier towards just doing it for you.
Yep.
But yeah, nothing worse than going into a CRM and there's no data there.
Yeah.
If you want to piss me off,
Well, or frustrate yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
I do not have the best memory.
mhm,
Same.
Some people swear they can remember every conversation they've ever had. Challenge you on that one. Where I've looked like a superhero reviewing my notes before I go into an appointment
Yeah.
and asking about some of the things they told me before. And they're like, how do you remember that?
Right.
Well,
If you want to impress your clients, take
I
notes.
didn't have to remember it. We only have so much capacity for taking in information.
yeah, I would say, you know, when it comes to like notes and everything, I write down everything because I know I have a bad memory. I mean, I forget words in normal sentences half the time. How am I going to remember
Yeah.
what this person's dog's name was? And that has won me over so many deals in the past
Yeah.
by having that. Because I do, I genuinely care and want to know that stuff and want to be, you know, relatable. But I struggle
sure.
with just the sheer amount of volume of information that's going in and out of my brain on a regular
Yeah.
basis. But also CYA, you know, how many times have we been in a situation where a client says, no, I wanted you to do this. And if you don't have that archive that like,
Yep.
hey, I did send that email or I did send in that application, there's been so many situations. And if you've been in this business for any length of time, you know, at some point, yeah, you're going to get a CMS violation or maybe not even a violation, but
An inquiry.
an inquiry,
Yeah.
and where you're going to have to provide a response.
Right.
And if you don't have that down, well, it's probably going to be a founded response as opposed to a unfounded situation if you don't have all of the notes.
You know how I love definitions?
Uh-huh.
I'd like to take CYA for a second. Just so if you don't know, it means cover your ass.
Nice. Love that. I want to bring up one last point about the CRM and keeping good notes. We have recorded a succession planning episode with you, Brian, and I think that keeping your CRM up to date, and feel free, shameless plug for that episode, please go listen. It'll be linked. If you don't have all of that information there, the next person who is set up to potentially step in case of emergency, you have to set them up for success too, so that it should be a part of your succession plan, in my opinion.
Yeah, and even outside of the succession plan, if you get to a point where maybe you have a couple agents underneath you, or God forbid you get sick, you get COVID, you're out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you have a customer service, a support person in your business, and you haven't written anything down, what are the chances that they're going to be able to solve those problems? I mean, we're talking about client retention here.
Right.
That's how important this is.
Yeah, for sure. Anyone should be able to go into your CRM and pick up right where you left off.
Yeah, I mean, it's to the point where I think if somebody goes and looks at my notes, they could probably finish my sentences.
Nice.
I like that.